Hi, I'm Game Guy. It's time for Let's Play It Again from the top. I guess there's no place better to start than the beginning. Video games have always kind of been a thing I have enjoyed a great deal throughout basically all of my life. I got started nice and early on the Nintendo Entertainment System, henceforth referred to as the NES. Honestly, I don't have a lot to say about the NES. I was pretty much too young to really, have much of a say in what games I obtained. And also, we never actually owned the NES that I've played. That was always owned by my grandparents, but regardless, I did play it, and I think I remember having a good time. I don't know if I remember it, but, you know, I think I had a good time. There really weren't many games that I had, but of those games, there's a few you may have heard of. Good old Super Mario Brothers. A game that I have been told I was very good at from a young age, using the epic strategy known as stand there and continually jump until the Goomba kills you. It worked every time. That's what I was told anyway. But regardless, I didn't really spend a whole lot of time with the NES, but these games did have a lasting impression in some other ways. Released August 11th, 1993, Super Mario All-Stars, a video game containing 4 video games. It's quite miraculous, honestly. This, my friends, is the Super Nintendo era. This is when things started happening. Listen, I spent a long time in this game. I got super good at basically any and all of the Marios that happened. While obviously other games came before this, this is probably one of the SNES games that I spent the most time with. Trying to beat the lost levels alone was a huge time sink. But honestly, I can firmly say, this is probably the game that made me a fan of Mario. And let me tell you, I got lots to say about Mario, but let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Super Mario All-Stars is a game that brings together the classics such as Super Mario Bros., Super Mario Bros. 2, Super Mario Bros. 3, and the Japan-exclusive Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. I mean, it was Japan exclusive at the time. I guess technically, by this game existing, it wasn't Japan exclusive anymore. Truth be told, the Super Mario Bros. Physics have never been something that I've enjoyed too much. They feel very stiff, I guess is a way to say. But it feels like the levels are designed around this, which honestly makes Super Mario Bros. A real classic, sturdy, nice game to play. You know, it's fairly quick if you know what you're doing. Probably the shortest game in here, especially if you're using shortcuts. But all in all, it's there's a reason it is called a classic. The Lost Levels, on the other hand, are not something I really enjoy. The game kinda goes about being weirdly designed or just outright unfair. It's intended to be a continuation of difficulty from the end of Super Mario Brothers, so it just kind of keeps going, and about the only way it can really get harder is by delving into unfair territory. And honestly, I'm just not a fan of that, considering I'm already not a huge fan of Mario 1's physics to begin with. It's a bit of a problem, but I have to say, it is an interesting challenge for somebody who likes Mario enough to even try such a thing. I spent a long time on this game. I've got nostalgia for it. It's certainly worth my time, at least. Super Mario Bros. 2 is kind of an odd one, being the game that came to the US because Japan thought the original Mario 2, being the Lost Levels as we know it, was too hard for American audiences. So they decided to take a game known as Doki Doki Panic and reskin it as a Mario game. A very strange idea, but you know what? This game is incredibly solid, and I love it a lot, actually. Ignoring the fact that this actually brought in a whole bunch of now classic Mario characters, this game, it introduces a lot of unique mechanics in the sense that it didn't really do anything Mario did before, other than the run and jump, and just runs with it. For there being only like 20 levels in this game, they're fairly meaty. There's a lot to them. This game is actually pretty interesting, all things considered. Finally, Super Mario Bros. 3. Oh man. This is just kinda where Mario started getting super good. There's honestly just so much to like about this game that it's really hard to pin it down in such a short video and short time frame. It goes back to the standard Mario formula, but manages to enhance it in so many different ways. This game added new power-ups, tons of varying leveled themes, and honestly, it's kind of amazing how much is packed into this game on the NES. And now here it stands, better than ever, really. Just the general aesthetic of Mario All-Stars in general is really good. There's a lot of life added to these games that just wasn't really present in the original. But yeah, Mario All-Stars, it's quite a treat. So let's play it again from the top.